Assalamualaikum everyone. I am your friend. I am Brother Joe Alferez of the Order of the Discount Carmelite Secular. So I'm going to share with you about the values of peace. So therefore we'll be talking or discussing about values. And you know very well what are values or what is values. Okay? First, we have the so-called human values. I think all of us are familiar with the human values. My value as a human person as well as your value as a human person. That's why it is said that human values is a way of life. The way we act, the way we deal with other people, to other social being. So that's the way of life. And our values will be measured on that as human as we are. Para hindi tayo sabihan, para ka mang hayop, mas masahol ka pa sa hayop. That's why it's good to study about, to review or to remind us once again about values. So what about these human values? Human values are, for example, respect, acceptance, consideration, appreciation, listening, openness, affection, empathy, and love towards other human beings. That's an example of human values. I think very self-explanatory some of that. Openness, listening. What about empathy? What's the difference between empathy as well as sympathy? Diba? Pag empathy, sinasabi natin, parang putting our shoes to the feet of others. Kung ikaw nasa kalagayan niya, anong mararamdaman mo? Okay, that's empathy, empathizing others. Yung damdamin mo kung ano yung naramdaman din niya. Ang sympathy, iba naman. Nakisimpatiya kami pag may namatayan, pag may nasaktan. And of course, sabi, love towards other human beings. That's more on the human values. Another is the respect. Ulit ito ha, consideration. So, it is with those human values that one becomes truly able to put into practice his or her ethical values, such as justice, integrity, refusal of violence, ban to kill, even the crisis situation. Human values convey a positive and effective surge which reinforces the rationality of moral values. They are the values that permit us to live together in harmony and personally contribute to peace. So take note of this, ha? Values that permit us to live together in harmony and personally contribute to peace. Sana the one mentioned nandoon, mayroon tayong values na gano'n, the human values. Love, affection, empathy, kaya nga paulit-ulit yung nakasulat dyan. Then ito, may maganda dito. It is the values that one becomes truly able to put into practice his or her ethical values. What about these ethical values? May example din dyan. Justice, integrity, refusal to violence. I think some of us friend man tayo, may pinopost ako, pinopromote, kinukumpanya ko yung brother ko by the name Luke Spiritu kasi nag-trending yun siya during the debate. But when I read in the newspaper, the Philippine Star, as well as the interview, that he is pro-abortion, sabi ko, wow, nasaan itong kaburo ko? We reformed in the seminary, bakit nag-pro-abortion ito siya? So tinanggal ko lahat yon. And why? Sabi, ethical values, especially justice, integrity, and refusal of violence, and ban to kill. And I know very well in my teaching, in my belief that abortion is killing. So that's why tinanggal ko siya, hindi ito pwede. Kahit na kasama ko ito sa seminary, it's a big no-no na wala yung ethical values niya. Kasi abortion is killing the innocent. especially the one inside the womb of a mother. Kaya nga, even in a crisis situation sana, kung sa interview hindi niya ginawa yon, I still vote for him as senator. Okay? So that's human values is really, really very important. That's why this is a sort of a review to all of us. Itong values, education, and peace and development. Okay? Justice, integrity, refusal to be violence, and ban to kill even in a situation, crisis situation. Take note. Then, once again, human values convey a positive and effective search which reinforces the rational and moral values. When we talk about moral values, it talks also about morality. It talks about the goodness and badness of one's action, the good as well as the evil. Okay? Then human values are tool to manage human relations and a tool for peace when tension is high. Okay? That's why sinasabi nga one of the research of Rummel, sabi niya the supreme value, supreme human value is peace. Kaya sabi dito, human values are the tool to manage human relations and a tool for peace when the tension is high. Then what about another example, yung sinasabi about human values? We have the truth, the right conduct, peace, love, as well as non-violence. That's under an example of the human values. What about these five? Under love, under truth, under peace. Okay, isa-isahin natin. The values under truth, familiar, honesty. Sabi natin sa classroom when we're still in the elementary and high school, honesty is the best policy. But the problem, nakasulat lang. Kasi hindi naman natin nila lahat. There are some leaders, okay, na when it comes to their integrity, when it comes to the value of honesty, may problema. Bakit? Mga kawatan. Then another sa truth, accuracy, courage, discernment, integrity. Graduate ka ito ng Harvard, I'm not against. Pero pag hindi lang sana magsinungaling, telling the truth, that's a value. Pero pag nagsisinungaling ka, that's the problem. Okay? Reason, fairness, that's more on justice, curiosity, self-awareness, truth, and of course justice. That's under the value of truth. Okay? What about love? As it was mentioned in the previous slide, empathy, kindness, sharing, friendship, generosity, patriotism, acceptance, consideration, care, compassion, humanness. That's more on the value of love. The non-violence. I think you're familiar with non-violence. Who is the proponent of the non-active violence? Familiar with Gandhi. Okay? Under non-violence, the value of harmlessness, equality, citizenship, the care of environment. I think you have also the subject, especially the major in peace and development. Appreciation of other culture and religion. Take note on this, the value of non-violence is one of which is appreciation of other culture and religion. In Mindanao, sinasabi in the Tri-Commission, we are tri-people. We have the Moro, the Settlers, as well as the IPs. Then, under the non-violence, we have to appreciate each other. Whatever is the culture, whatever is our religion. That's why we have to broaden our horizon. And why? Kasi yung iba, exclusivist mag-isip. Sa Kristiyano, marami exclusivist mag-isip. Kami lang talaga maliligtas. Ang iba, hindi yan maligtas. Ang mga Katoliko, go to hell. Kasi hindi sumunod-sunod sa Biblia. Okay, that's the point. And there are also Muslims who are exclusivists. The only real religion in the world is Islam. Hoy, pag sure. That's why appreciate other culture and religion. Yung iba, ginagamit ang religion para to justify everything. Dapat tayo sa peace education, broaden our horizon. Remember the value of non-violence, especially appreciation of other culture and religion. You don't have the right to discriminate, to condemn, to judge other religion if you have this value. And take note on that. Masakit man, truth hurts, but for us, peace educator, open your horizon. Sana malinaw yan. Okay? You don't have the right to tell me na my religion is wrong. And I don't have also the right to tell you that my religion, your religion, is not a true religion. Kaya minsan yung iba, ang galing-galing lang manira, pag babalikan, nagagalit. Okay? That's why, listen, learn, broaden your horizon. Appreciate other culture and religion. That's a value under non-violence. Then, universal compassion. Then, the right conduct. Under dito is a good diet. That's appreciation of oneself. The tidy appearance. The way how we dalhin natin sarili natin. Proper hygiene. That's under the right conduct. The responsibility. What about responsibility? There are two words. Respond and ability. The responsibility towards others, especially those who are in need. Then duty, self-reliance, punctuality, and the right conduct. That's a value. Kaya yung iba sa trabaho, palaging late. That's the problem there. Saan yung value of punctuality and the right conduct? Okay? Good behavior. Then cooperation. Then last, under the human values, example is peace. Under peace is being calm. Then attention, contentment, patience, discipline, happiness, self-esteem, and surrender. That's under the value of peace. I hope you learn from that. Next, me and my values. Of course, for us, human beings, as human as we are, we value our Creator, our God. Whatever is the name of our God, we value on God, our relationship with God. And of course, our religion. Of course, we value our religion. That's why I told you, open your horizon, broaden your horizon, open your mind. That before you exist, may nag-exist na religion before us. Malinaw yan sa atin. But we value our religion. What about religion? Religion comes from the Latin word relegare. Relegare, which means to bind ourselves to someone, to our Creator. And that would lead us to God. That's our religion. That's the way of life. If you love your religion, if you have a right conduct, you value religion, go for it. But do not destroy others. Do not condemn others. Do not judge others because they also value their own religion. Next, we value our profession. I am a teacher. I value my profession. I have my integrity as teacher. Okay? Ang hirap magiging teacher. But I value that one because I was trained as teacher na my profession is a vocation. My profession is a noble profession as teacher. And it is also a mission. So I value on that. Then we value our society. Then the question now, what is happening to our society today? What is happening to the world today? Ukraine, Russia, naghihirap. Kaya ang daming nagtitext sa akin, kung friend tayo, lahat, pray for the people in Russia and Ukraine, especially the people in Ukraine, kasi sila ngayon ang dihado. Sila inaatake. That's in our society. Pero hindi natin palayuin dito sa atin, in our Philippines, in Mindanao. I think we value that one. Personally, I value the barm. And why? I was born here, and surely dito na rin ako mamatay. I am a Bangsamoro, I value my society. Yet, Kristiyano lang ako. Okay? Nakuha natin. Then, of course, I value my friends. All of you, whatever is your religion, whatever is your belief, whatever is your culture, I value you if you are my friend. That's why we have the saying, tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are. That's very old saying. Kasi pag friend mo mga BI, mga bad influence, baka ganun ka. Pag ang friend mo addict, baka ganun ka rin. Sabi, hindi talaga ako addict, ganito. Gusto kong i-convert sila. That's one good thing. Pag ang friend mo puro religious, minsan bukang bibig mo religious din. Nakuha ninyo? Okay. Of course, we value our family. Kaya nga in the Philippines, sa mga Filipinos, iba tayo, we have the close family ties because we value that family. Ayaw nating mapalayo mga anak natin, mga mama, papa natin. But it's sad to note, kasi yung iba, pag matanda na, iniiwan sa mga house for the aged. So yun yung problema sa mga Pinoy ngayon. They don't anymore value the family, especially mga elders. Hindi ko naman nila lahat. But you look at dito sa amin, sa Bahay Maria, I think familiar with Bahay Maria, nandyan yung mga matatanda, sabi ng isang kaibigan ko. Ay, puro lang man yan, andyan, pang-Christian lang man yan. It's not true. May mga Muslim din dyan. Okay? Ibig sabihin, may problema in valuing one's family. Okay? So we move on. Then there are top 10 human values aside from what we mentioned. Health and energy, of course. The love, the gratitude and appreciation. Okay? Kindness and compassion. Integrity. Giving. Giving, that's a human values. Yung being generous. You give without counting the cost. You give without string attached. That's a value on giving. Growth, that's also values. Peace, of course, it was mentioned. Family, friendship, and connection. Okay? Networking. We value on that. Then, of course, happiness. That's the top 10. But there are a lot, There are a lot. Okay? Then, when I talk about peace, if everyone in the world were peaceful, this would be a peaceful world. Wow. If everyone in the world were peaceful, this would be a peaceful world. That's a challenge to all of us. Okay? So, peace, peace, peace. So, around peace, marami nakasulat dyan. Non-violence, intercultural dialogue, human rights. I think from the other subjects, you already know that in peace, we have the 6 petals. Okay? Human rights, intercultural solidarity, environmental care. Ano pa? Kalimutan ninyo? Anyway, matatalakay pa din sa ibang subject. Militarization. Okay? Love of the environment. And the rest. Structural violence. That's under peace. Kaya nga marami dyan. Then, peace is also a traditional moral value. And why? Kung face-to-face ito, pwede kayo magsalita dyan. Yes, it's traditional moral value. Peace. Then, what does the value of peace mean? Peace, however, is seen as a concord or harmony and tranquility. It is viewed as peace of mind and serenity, especially in the East. It is defined as state of law or civil government, a state of justice or goodness, a balance or equilibrium of powers. Okay, that's another definition. Once again, peace of mind or serenity, tranquility, harmony, that's more on peace. Then, itong sinasabi, a state of law. And why? May mga batas tayo na to give us a direction. Kaya nga, parang may peace and order. Or in the civil government, we have the Constitution that will guide us. Then, a state of justice and goodness. When I talk about justice, diba, we have to give the person what is due. We have also the so-called social justice with the intention of helping those who are in need, who are oppressed, who are poor, who are marginalized. Then what about this balance or equilibrium of powers? In the Philippines, we have the so-called kinds of the government, 3 forms, di ba? The legislative, executive, the judiciary. The legislative, the executive, the lawmakers. The judiciary are the implementers of that law. But may peace in the Philippines, in the context of the Philippines. Anong sabi sa executive? Huwag kayong mag-ano dyan sa Senate kasi ganito yan, ganyan. Bakit nakialam? Is there peace? Kuha, dapat sabi equilibrium, a balance of power. The executive, the judiciary, as well as the legislative. Judiciary, Sereno, tanggalin ka. Legislative, ikaw ang sususi dilema. Una, tinanggal ka. Ang nagpakialam, executive, is there peace? Kuha, that's the point there. So, what does the value of peace mean? So, may problema. Then, why peace is a value? Another question. Peace is a moral value, both because it is intrinsically valuable and because it is non-specific and specific instrumental value for most people. That peace is not the interest of those who enjoy violence does not undermine its moral value. So that's the answer why peace is a value. Once again, intrinsically valuable, intrinsic within, and because it has a non-specific and non-specific instrumental value of most people. Okay, we know that one. Then, that peace is not the interest of those who enjoy violence does not undermine its moral value. So kaya nga, sabi natin, in the other definition, si Galtung, di ba, may sinasabi din about peace, the positive peace, the hot peace, the direct and the indirect violence. Okay? Kaya nga, itong very common na natutunan siguro niya, peace is not merely the absence of war, but it is also the absence of violence that includes physical, structural violence, as well as emotional violence. That's why we value the so-called peace. Then in order to lead a meaningful life, you need to cherish others, pay attention to human values, and try to cultivate inner peace. If you are at peace, you can radiate that peace to others. Pero pag unpeaceful ka, anong resulta dyan? Ang mga negative vibes na si-share mo din, na-imbibe mo rin sa iba. So that's a challenge to all of us. Okay? Especially when we talk about peace, especially according to Dalai Lama. So once again, in order to lead a meaningful life, you need to cherish others, pay attention to human values, and try to cultivate the inner peace. That's why itong mga Hindu at saka Buddhist, they always cultivate this inner peace. They don't want yung chaos. That's why they always meditate. Okay? Tayo kaya, can we do it? Yes, we can also do it. We can attain the so-called inner peace. Pero mahirap na yan because of this chaotic world now. Okay. Then, be a peacemaker who values peace and takes peace everywhere you go. Ang ganda, no? Be a peacemaker who values peace and takes peace everywhere you go. Sabi ko nga, if you are always at peace, you can radiate that peace to others everywhere you go, everywhere you are. Kaya nga according to Mother Teresa, smile is the beginning of peace. And why? When you always bring that smile ka sa iba, what will be the response, the reaction? Wow, kabait-bait sa tayo. Hindi ko man kilala. Pero nakasmile. Ang ganda ng aura niya. Pero pag nakasimangot ka, you are not a peacemaker. Okay? So that's a challenge according to Brian McGill. Okay? Once again, be a peacemaker who values peace and takes peace everywhere you go. Then, why peace is considered also a social value? And the answer is, peace is a widely used in a social context to refer the absence of conflict and the absence of fear of violence between persons and organizations. Peace becomes a social value rather than a personal need because contributions to progress, advancement can be made in various fields and everyone will benefit. That's why social, my relationship to others. That's why we are social beings. So therefore, peace is also a social value. If I have that inner peace and you have that inner peace, since we are social being, we combine that one, so there is peace. Kaya nga, refers to the absence of conflict and absence of fear and violence between persons and organization, especially on the value of love. That's love is under social value. Okay? Remember Mucha noon with the OPM? Anong sabi niya? Anong inawit niya? Sana'y pag-ibig na lang ang isipin ng bawat isa sa mundo. Sana'y wala ng away, wala ng alitan, may kapayapaan. Okay? Because we are a social being. So therefore, peace is also a social value. That's why Ukraine and Russia now, nag-aaway sila. But ang kagandahan itong Ukraine, Vladimir, pareho yata sila pangalan. Iba lang ang pagbaybay, ang yung spelling. Okay? Putin ang isa, Zelensky. Pero pangalan, iba lang ba, pare-pareho sila. But gusto ng isa, kapayapaan, itigil ang gera. Because we have to acquire the so-called social. We are human being for the sake of peace, for the sake of harmony and cooperation. That's why cooperation pumapasok din. Ukraine, dami. The United Nations as well as yung European countries. Kaya nakaisa. Kaya ban lahat mga connection sa Russia. Sana matauhan ang Russia so that we'll have peace. And that's what we call social values because we are a social being, persons and organizations na walang fear of violence. Okay? I value peace when it is not bought at the price of fundamental decencies. Ang gandang kasabihan, no? I value peace when it is not bought at the price of fundamental decencies. Okay? Kaya nga, values are taught or are caught, not taught. Okay? So, nasa sayo. Kaya nga, papasok din yung inner peace. Then, value your peace more than people's opinions. Okay? Value your peace more than people's opinion. That's a challenge. Then, according to Robert, peace of mind produces right values. Right values produces right thoughts. Right thoughts produces right actions. And right actions produce works. Work which will be material reflection for others to see in the serenity at the center of it all. Wow! Ang ganda, according to Robert. Once again, according to him, in his quote, peace of mind produces right values. Right values produce right thoughts. Right thoughts produce right actions. And right actions produce work, which will be a material reflection for others to see the serenity of the center, at the center of it all. Then, what is moral value of peace? To stay peaceful requires strength and compassion. Peace is the qualitative energy that brings balance. World peace grows through non-violence, acceptance, fairness, and communication. Peace is a main characteristic of a civilized world. When we talk about civilized world, so therefore, we are a moral being. We know what is right, we know what is wrong. Sabi nga, it requires strength and compassion with passion, with love, with care, with mercy to others. Kaya nga, peace is also a qualitative energy that brings balance. So, nasa sa atin din yun. That's why peace is also a moral value. Another question. Can peace be a core values? What do you think? Can peace be a core values? People who proclaim peace as the presence of justice reveal the importance that a core value system holds in their lives as they engage in creating a culture of peace with justice. So, therefore, we can say that peace can be a core value because of this. A core value system holds in their lives as they engage in creating a culture of peace with justice. And you are familiar and you know very well about this culture of peace. It talks about knowledge, the attitudes, and the behaviors of people. Okay? And of course, with justice, justicia. When you talk about justicia, justice comes from the Latin justicia. You give to that person what is due to that person. Okay? That's why peace is a core value. Aside from what Rummel said in his research, that the highest humanity's value is peace. Then peace of mind produces the right values, as we mentioned. Then right values produce right thoughts, and right thoughts produce right actions. That according to ito namang nagcopy si Mark, the thing that's coming from Robert. Then peace of mind comes when your life is in harmony with true principles and values, and in no other way. Ho ho. Comes when your life is in harmony with true principles. But the problem, kung yung principles mo, if there are true principles, may false principles ba? That's the question there. So ikaw lang nakakaalam dyan. Kung may harmony yan, so therefore, there is a peace of mind. Then peace as core values, everything we do comes out with a core belief, and active peacemaking requires direct, respectful, creative communication. We are here to get in the middle when people or communities have disputes, and our work is driven by these 6 values. So under this, if you are dealing with people, kasi usually, itong peace education, especially in our subject, this is a community-based dapat. Pero because of the pandemic, that's why mga project sana nasa labas tayo. Pero dito, hindi naman. Middle of the people, communities have a dispute. So, pwedeng papasok itong peace core values like optimism, number 1. What about optimism? We see every conflict as an opportunity for better understanding. Mediation is a valuable tool, so we strive to make it more accessible to everyone. To be optimist, especially if you are in the community. Kung may alitan doon, so you were there at the center to mediate, to help the people, to help the community. Okay? At pwede ba tayong paniwala? Yes, pwede. If not, we can also invite others, the leaders there, the spiritual leaders, to be optimistic, to resolve those conflict if there is a conflict in the community. So that's the first among the 6 values as peace as core values. Second, transparency. From the word in itself, you know that one very well. We encourage openness from ourselves, from people in disputes, because direct communication is the best way to find solutions. Yun bang wala kang kinikilingan? If you are there to mediate, okay, you have to be balanced to the both sides. Okay? Alamin kabila, alamin kami, wala kang kinikilingan. Being transparent at alam nila. Pero pag may kinikilingan ka, may problema. Kaya nga, in this transparent, we encourage openness of ourselves from the people of disputes. Okay? Na wala ka talagang kinikilingan of both sides. Then empathy. You know already what is empathy. We don't simply remain neutral. Okay? We don't simply remain neutral. We strive to understand and honor the different points of view of the individuals, parties, communities in conflict. So, papasok ka doon, peace as core values, empathy. So, tingnan mo, if you are in the shoes of that side, tingnan mo rin sa if you are in the shoes of the other side, anong magagawa mo in order to achieve peace as a core value when you talk about empathy? Okay? Once again, empathy is putting your feet in the shoes of others. Okay? Empowerment. We create a private, collaborative environment to help individuals, communities find practical solutions to their disputes. We also help them gain the tools to handle future conflicts. So, ganito. If you're in the community, huwag kang magpahiro-hiro din dyan. Okay? Go to the people, empower the people, especially those who are there. May mga leader naman yan doon. Empower them, give them or equip them of what you know. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, kung wala pang pandemic, punta tayo sa isang barangay, so isang lugar, para ma-practice natin ito. If you'll be able to empower the people, kung may problema, sila na yung magsosolve. Then tatawagin ka na lang as consultant because you empower them. Ulitin ko, huwag kang magpahiro-hiro doon. Na ako nang bahala dyan, ako hindi ganon. If you empower the community, wow, sila na yung magsosolve. Then pagbalik mo na, alam mo sir, tama talaga yung sinabi mo sa amin. Alam mo ma'am, ganito talaga yun. Naniwala kami sa inyo. So kami na, naniwala sila sa amin. Gets? Because you are able to empower those people in the community. Kaya nga, pag may dispute, sila na. Alam nila kung paano bigyan ng solusyon. Excellence. Number 5, core values. We demand nothing but the best from ourselves on behalf of the people we work with, whether in mediation, in trainings, or during any other discussions. Okay. Kung ano yung pinaka-best sa kanila, dapat maibigay din nila. Of course, galing din yan sa sarili mo. Para yung kaya nga, na-empower mo sila, na-ibigay yung best, then whether in mediation, may training din, then during the discussion, ayun, ang ganda na. So, if you excel on that, kung may conflict, na-resolve ba agad? Okay? Then the last one, creativity. We think differently. We encourage people we work with to think differently, to find innovative or perhaps unexpected solutions to make our country or their community more peaceful place. Okay. So, in a situation, kahit na sa pamilya, kaya nga, think in a different way. May mga solusyon na yan, pero if you are creative enough, as peace educator, as peace builder, as peacemaker, okay? If you are creative at makita yun sa mga tao, halimbawa, may solusyon na sila, ano kaya sa susunod? Kung ito kayang gawin nyo, baka mas applicable ito. Or ito kaya, you give options kasi that's being creative. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat na baka effective yun, nabigyan ng solusyon, pero kung may naisip ka pang iba, sabi nga, we think differently, then also the people encourage people to think differently. Kaya nga, papasok yung sa nasabing nating pagkamalikhain, being creative, innovative. Okay? Kaya nga, and perhaps unexpected, then solutions make your community, our country, more peaceful world. Kagaya ngayon, the problem of country is the pandemic, the war on drugs, corruption. Is our president creative in solving those problems? Is the tukhang as part of the strategy? Is that creativity? I think yes. Pero nagka-problema nga lang because nandoon yung EGK which is mali. Pero the tukhang it is, so that's being creative. Na hindi yan nabago, so hindi yan nagawa ng iba. Tukhang, di ba? Tok-tok hangyo. Hello, tao po. Kung nag-addict ka man, pwede magbago ka, i-rehab kita, tulungan ka. That's one good thing. That's being creative. You think differently with other people. Ang ganda na sana yon. Problema lang, nag-surrender na, nagbagong buhay na pinapatay man. Nawala tuloy yung creativity. Ngayon, kaso tuloy because of the extrajudicial killing. Alam niya ng ni Duterte na pag alis siya sa pwesto, kahit matanda na siya, kakasuhan pa rin yan. Kasi napatunayan man na may extrajudicial killing. Tapos sinasabi, sila-sila lang yan, nagpapatayan. Ay, anong sila-sila? Policeman pumapatay. Proven and tested na din yan. There are cases. Okay? So, yan. So, encourage people to think differently. Tsaka, of course, tayo, kung nandoon ka sa community, think differently. Okay? If you want to have a peaceful place to live in. So once again, the living values, especially in education, we have the peace, respect, love, tolerance, honesty, happiness, responsibility, simplicity, humility, cooperation, freedom, and unity. Yun na nating alam na values. Then, we achieve inner peace when our schedule align with our values. Tingnan nyo. According to familiar author si Stephen Covey, we achieve inner peace when our schedule aligns with our values. Kagaya sa atin, are you happy with your work? Or am I happy with my work? Do I value my work? Pag wala, dapat i-align ko yan para magiging happy ako at saka yung inner peace ko ma-achieve ko. Okay? So that's the point there. The values related to peace, there are also a lot. Take note. Attention, calm, concentration, contentment. Especially contentment. That's under also the value of peace. Related value of peace. Yung kontento ka sa buhay, but are you contented with your life? That's the point there. Sabi ko, buti pa itong mga pobre. Kita mo yung contentment. And they are happy with the small things. Magkatay-katay lang ng manok. Pag birthday, they are happy. Pero yung iba, they are not contented in their life. They want more. So that's also a value of peace. Dignity, discipline, equality, equanimity, faithfulness. Related to peace and faithfulness. Ano yung faithfulness? To your promise, faithfulness to your commitment, to your wife. Ikaw lang talagang iibigin ko, mamahalin ko. Wala na talagang iba. I know na pwede sa amin kung ikaw ay Muslim. 4 pero ako ayaw ko. Okay? Ikaw lang talaga, buong buhay ko. Handa ako magpakamay. Alang-alang sa'yo dahil mahal kita. That's being faithful of that promise. Pero pag i-break mo yon, wala na. Labo-labo na. Because alam mo man, especially mga kapatid natin, in Islam, it's not mandatory, it's not obligatory na magduaya ka. Kasi yung iba, inaabuso kasi yan. Kahit na walang kakayahan, magduaya. Alam yun na yan. Open your mind. Open your eyes. Punta ka vicinity. Manghambog pa. Kapitbahay ko nga, maestro. 4 asawa ko. Pag-ari mo, Cebuano. Tawa lang ako. Tingin ko, kawawa naman. Ginamit lang si babae. Mga anak, wala pinag-aralan. That's the point there. Hinambog. Is that being faithful to your wife? But I'm not saying bawal yon kasi it's allowed in Islam. Pag kaya, pag hindi kaya, wag mong kayanin. That's the point there. So, ang peace nawawala. Okay. Focus, that's also related to peace. Happiness, harmony, humility. That's related to peace. Being humble. By the way, humility comes from the Latin word humus. And that humus, ibig sabihin soil. But remember, every time we pray, we kneel down, kami mga Christian, nagdapa kami, we kiss on the ground. Like sa mga kapatid namin mga Muslim, every time that you pray, the 5 times 3, kaya yung iba may mga ano na dito, kalyo na, ano ay? That's a sign that in front of God, you are nothing because you came from the dust. You kiss the ground. That's humility. Kuha. Inner silence, that's another. Optimism, patience, reflection, satisfaction, self-acceptance, confidence, control, discipline, self-esteem, respect, self-respect, sense of control. Pag wala kasing sense of control, wala kang self-respect, hindi ka rin respetuhin. Surrender, that's also related to peace. Understanding, then virtue, that's a values related to peace. So there are a lot. Meron pa yan, of course. Okay? So yan, nabanggit na natin. Peace, love, hope, freedom, collaboration, unity. That's also a value related to peace. Then the primary threats to peace. So mayroon ding threats ang peace. Take note on the threats of peace. May peace ba kung may gutom, may poverty, may paghihirap? Wala. That's a threat to peace. What about inequality? I think klaro naman. Extremism. Ngayon, dami. Violent extremism. That's a threat to peace. Damaote, nagparamdaman naman sila. The ISIS. Diba sa Lanao? I think sa Maging, di ba, may airstrike. I don't know, narinig ninyo, nabalita yon. That's an extremist. Okay? Being extreme, nagiging violente, kasi ito lang. Dapat maging muhajidin ka. Pag namatay ka, mayroon kang reward. Sasalubungin ka ng 72 virgins. Kasi ito yung nakasulat. Yan. Pag ganyan, that's being extreme. Okay? Tribalism, of course. Tribe to tribe, gera-gera, that's threats to peace. Terrorism, extremism, they are interrelated. Okay? Imperialism. What about imperialism? Kami lang talagang nasusunod. Kami lang, the Imperial Army. Especially during the time of yung sinakop tayo mga the Imperial Army of kami ang sundin. That's a threat to peace. Violence of human rights. Yung violation of human rights, alam natin yan, the EJK. Alam niya yan. Emotional and physical and sexual abuse. Then, failing states. Like ngayon, hinay-hinay na nakuha ng mga city ng that's a threat, yung especially the war. The global disorder, of course, corruption. Alam natin yan. Then the inability to value and treat others as ourselves. So yon, the another threats to peace. Kaya ang hirap, no? Na makamtan ang tinatawag nating peace. Then another, respect all life. That's a call. Reject violence. Share with others. Listen to understand. Preserve the planet. So yun yung panawagan. That's a challenge. Hamon sa ating lahat. Especially, respect all life. Not only human life, as well as the life of other creatures. Kaya nga ako personally, hanga ako sa mga kapatid naming mga Muslim. Every time na magkatay kayo, you pray, nagsumbali kayo because you respect that there is life of the kambing, of the tupa. Okay? Kaya nga, kahit na magkatay ka ng haluan, sumbali. Kasi that's part of respect of all forms of life. May mga tao nga, may paniwala na wag patayin ang lamok kasi they have life. Okay? Reject violence. Of course, alam natin yon. Share with others. Kaya nga, this is also a challenge. In sharing with others, wag kang maging sakim. Pagtatanungin ko kayo, may lalapit siya, punta kay Jollibee, punta kay McDo, punta kay KFC. Okay. May lalapit dyan, may matanda dyan, nag-aabang, nanghihingi, ganyan. Anong gagawin mo? Did you share your blessing? Nagrason pa yung iba. Yes, ganito sir. What about our kapatid na badyaw? Ako personally, dinidiscourage ko rin kayo to give money, but give them food. Kasi if you give money, like dito sa parang road, alam niyo yan, may mga lalaki dyan, nagbabantay ng mga motor. Hala, sige bigay kwarta. Pagkahapon puro lasing, sarap sa palin ba? Kung hindi yan nagbigay, walang nagbigay, hindi yan ganyan. And that's anymore sharing with others. You tolerate sa mga ginagawa nila. Then what about the badyaw? I think this is the work of the government. I-educate sila, turuan sila. Pero naging hanap buhay na nila. Okay? But always remember, tingnan mo rin sitwasyon. When you give, you're a blessing to that person. Minsan kahit na modus operandi pa yon. Kaya minsan, sinubukan ngayon magbigay mga batang badyaw dyan sa may smiley. Pagbigay ko, 10 man yun. Hala, tingin-tingin. Dami, dumadami. Sabi ko sa sunod, hindi na ako magbigay pera, kundi tinapay. Okay? That's being generous. Share your blessing to others. Share with others. Pero ulitin ko, tingnan din yung sitwasyon. Kung pundos ibirande yun, do not give money. But give food kung kailangan ng food. Huwag pagalitan. Yung iba pinapagalitan. One time nga, kasama ko, Sir, mga bata, Bantayan ko yung sasakyan mo, sir, ha? Na, pinagalitan niya. Ano, bakit na? Nung pinagalitan niya, pagbalik niya, anong ginawa? Ginaganyan sasakyan niya ng yung tansan. O pagwa, sabi ko, bro, may mali ka. Huwag mo sanang pinagalitan. Kasi mga maro man yan sila. So that's the point there. So may mga modus operandi, but there are times na wala kang control din sa kanila. Then, listen to understand. Sabi nga, listening is the beginning of understanding. The next challenge, preserve the planet. Because our world nowadays, the Mother Earth nowadays, is suffering sa kagagawa nating mga tao. Kawawa ang ating mundo sa kasalukuyan dahil sa atin. Kaya preserve the Mother Earth, the planet. Tulungan natin na mabalik muli. Biro mo yan, wala na tayong malalang magandang hangin kasi putol lang mga kahoy. Tingnan nyo ngayon, COVID. Anong ginagawa sa tao? Bumabalik sa bundok. Kaya sumisikat yung mga scenery sa mga bundok-bundok. Okay? Kasi dito sa syudad, wala ka namang malalanghap na hangin. Wala na. Sirang-sira na ang mundo. Ang init-init na ng mundo. Okay? So, ito yung hamon sa ating lahat. Then whoever tries to understand the human values of truth, righteousness, conduct, peace, love, and nonviolence properly, who practices these values and propagates them with zeal and sincerity, can alone be described as a truly educated person. Okay? Medyo mahirap na, masakit din. So once again, whoever tries to understand the human values of truth, righteous conduct, peace, love, and nonviolence properly, who practices these values and propagates them with zeal and sincerity, can alone be described as a truly educated person. Kaya nga, tanong ko sa sarili ko, am I educated person? Am I the peace advocate? Though I am not perfect, but I'm trying to be one of the educated person na sana makamtan ko itong sinasabing human values na binanggit. Okay. We plant seeds that will flower as a result in our lives. So best to remove the weeds of anger, avarice, envy, and doubt, that peace and abundance may manifest for all. Yun yung isa sa mga hugot. And with that, my dear people of God, I hope you learned something with this presentation about the values of peace. So thank you for listening. God bless us all. Dalaygon ang Diyos.